Hello and welcome, folks, and you know what that sound means. That's right, you're listening to RSF Radio, and this is a very special guest edition. This week I have a returning guest, whom you might know from such things as Van Street Battle or his absolute undying love for fighting EX Layer. That's right, it's PB Geki. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
It's been a hot minute since we've talked. Been a while.
It was.
But I have been keeping track of what's been going on in Vancouver. I've seen what's going on over there in Western Canada. Mm-hmm. And it looks cool. It looks like you guys are running a cool scene up there.
Thanks so much, man. Yeah, I mean, James Chen really helped us out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Shit, we can talk about that. I didn't even mean to talk about that, but
yeah, well,
that was literally like yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think it was this week. I think it was either this week or last week on Thursday. No, I can't remember the exact date, but yeah, he has a segment called FGC Locals of the World where he like basically restreams tournaments from local scenes and across the world, but you pay him a certain fee. And quite honestly, I was surprised how cheap it was to do it. So basically a bunch of us in Vancouver reached out to him, and then we all like discussed the pricing, what event we wanted to restream, and then we each just pitched in like a couple bucks, and it was a done deal. And then he did it. We were all in the chat to like talk about each other and whatnot, just kind of give a little history, and then anyone else that joined in the chat just kind of give links or answer any questions. And yeah, it's been great for the scene to promote it. So we'll see how it goes in the next coming months.
Yeah, Man, that is such a cool thing that he's doing. I've been thinking about doing that for our weeklies. And granted, it's like an online thing. I get it. So it's not really... So to me, it doesn't feel like the spirit of why he's doing what he does. But at the same time, like, it is pretty incredible the outreach that he has. And I'm glad that he's using it in that way. I've seen a couple people say it's a bummer that he's taking money for it. But at the same time, like... It's a couple hours of his time. Like,
well, here's something crazy though. He actually wants it to be free.
Oh wow!
He wants to build it to be free. So he even asked, because Justin Wong came into the chat and he was like, "Justin, I need a sponsor, maybe like
that
like
would be
a
something.
gaming chair company or like HyperX or whatever, just to like sponsor this segment, so he doesn't have to worry about getting people to pay, because he understands that local scenes don't already have that much money."
Right.
So it's usually, and not only that, like while he's restreaming, any donations or subs, they go to the tournament scene.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
I've noticed that as well, which has been like, that's just an extra cool thing on top that I think is really special that he's doing. So I am all for that. And it was really cool that recently he covered the Van Street Battle stuff. So maybe would you want to give a breakdown of what you guys have going on, because you've got an event coming up as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we do. So essentially, Van Street Battle is a local scene for Vancouver. It's literally probably the best fighting game local scene, dare I say, across Canada, because I've seen other scenes across Canada.
Toronto top tiers, maybe. We'll take issue with that.
If you look at our setup, we have like Wednesday night fight top quality. We have a commentator couch. We have stream cameras, professional cameras that look at each player. There's a giant projector screen right above the players so they can read the chat. They can also see everyone behind can see the screen, watch the matches. It's like we have comfortable like Pulse Lab gaming chairs. There's kind of like Canadian Vertigear.
Well, it's like a lounge too. You've got like couches and shit.
Yeah, we have like lounges, and it's like top tier everything set up. And yeah, Toronto is good, but I feel like we're inching just a little past.
I actually didn't know you guys blasted the stream chat live inside a building. That seems almost criminal. There's an element to that seems a bit criminal.
Well, the only the benefit though is that it's not always visible. So basically, in between matches, if you're watching the stream, you'll see that it cuts to like each of the players playing. It shows the commentators and it shows the chat. Like that's the layout, and that's what's on the screen. So in between matches, we can see the chat, but while we're playing, we just see like what we're seeing basically, just with like our tags and like the match number.
That's good. That's good, because I feel like it wouldn't affect me, but if I feel like, let's just say if I were playing and then I saw someone saying, "What a dumb beard he has," I would just be filled with such rage. And I would know it because they're fucking lying. This is an incredible... Yeah. No, that's...
You do have a nice beard. I've seen it in person and in pictures, and let me tell you guys, it holds up.
I just trimmed it. You
did?
It has become to the point where I need to like take care of it every couple days. And that was never part of the deal with me and this beard. It was always let her rock, let her go as far as she can. Now I'm sexualizing my beard. That's weird. Giving gender.
It happens once in a while. It's fine.
That's a weird carryover from when people called boats. That's my girl. That's my. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that's a weird thing too.
It is a weird thing. It is a weird thing, but whatever. My beard though, she's quite the vessel for all kinds of salad dressings, I find. Eating salad with a beard, especially one that's got like long pieces like if you get like carrot sticks or something in a salad, almost like 100% of the time is that going to hit the beard. Almost 100% of the time.
My God, you can't even drink soup then, I bet.
Oh,
like certain kinds of soup are just a bad idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, soup is offensive to people around me because I have to I have to slurp. It's like a poor slurp situation where no one is enjoying it around me. My wife is shaking her head in agreement of like, yes, it is very. So you're across the room. By the way, this is the only podcast where it's filmed in front of a live studio audience of my wife and Brick. Brick is very critical of the show.
He seems like he would be, right? He's very judgy, I bet.
Oh no! If I take off these headphones, and he will light it up. He will light up the room. I refuse to do it because I don't want to subject people to that noise. But but anyway, so we were talking about Van Street Battle though.
Yeah. So anyway,
because they've got an event going on, which we didn't actually talk about the event that's coming.
That's true. Let me build it up. Let me just set the stage for like a typical week in Vancouver for FGC stuff. So basically, they're open from Wednesday to Sunday. Okay, and there's games going out every day in that time. So Wednesday is like Dragon Ball Fighters. We have some anime games, Smash Melee. Thursday we have Fexel, Soul Calibur, Tekken, and Street Fighter. And on Thursdays, it's actually free to enter the tournament. So they're free mini weeklies. So you just pay basically the venue fee, and then you can enter any tournaments you want for free, which is nice. And then Friday, we have a special beginner segment. So basically I think we have Street Fighter, Tekken, Dragon Ball, and I think 2 other games that are basically beginner friendly. So if you're a certain rank, you can't enter basically. So it's more for newbie. It's newbie friendly essentially. And then Saturday is our main fighting game day, where we have like pretty much every fighting game, and that's like the paid weekly, usually like $5-10 to enter, depending on the game. And Sunday is for Smash, essentially.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's like a whole plethora of events that you have going on. I like the idea of only this rank can enter. I feel like that's done well. Probably not only for you guys, but who else was telling me about that? You're not the only person who I've heard runs tournaments like that at a live venue. Because I know that there's a new challenger who runs like online tournaments for that. But I know that there's a couple people out there who are running must be under this rank to enter, which I think is just good for numbers and good for people to like keep showing up and competing and trying to do well.
We keep adding to it just because it's been doing so well, and more people are showing up. And then what's great is that if you win, I can't remember what the stipulations are, but if you win a certain amount of times, you're promoted to enter in the the main weeklies.
You're out.
Like you're always encouraged to enter all of them, but if you feel that you're not good enough yet or whatever it is, then we're kind of encourage you a little bit more. Like you're good enough. You should be now playing here instead of beginners. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that. No, that's awesome. That's great. So it seems like you guys are doing good out there, and that's cool. Been meaning to visit there. You actually have like Justin Wong goes out there occasionally.
Occasionally, yeah. And so the event, since we built it up now, the event we have coming up is called The Pinnacle. Oh my God, I'm going to mess up the date. But I think it's the December 28th. It's on the Friday and Saturday, whatever within those few days are. It's the Friday and Saturday. It's a 2-day tournament. There's going to be a ton of games, like basically every fighting game that is a modern game right now. We also have Street Fighter Super Turbo. We have FIFA. We have NHL. We have a bunch of Nintendo games. We have Mario Party, for God's sake. And it's not listed there.
I thought you guys were trying to have a good time out there.
Yeah.
Some
people are into it, man. It's popular on Sundays.
I guess if like you don't want to go to church or something, if you need something extra boring to put you to sleep, you just put Mario Party on.
Exactly.
No.
And also I'm running a side Fexel tournament that will be free to enter. I'm going to run it myself through Challenge. I'm running it through my PS4. I'm going to try to get 1 or 2 more just in case, depending on how many people show up. But that's going to be also on Friday as well.
So this is crazy to me that's and you were right, by the way, that it's on the 28th through 29th. 28th.
Okay, perfect. Good.
Do you want to go to Vancouver? Never mind.
Vancouver is so fun, honestly. I will show you guys all the good places to eat.
It's like a beautiful part of the world, by the way, also.
Yes, very much so.
It's fucking gorgeous out there. But it is, by the way, it is crazy to me that Fexel's going to be a side tournament there.
Yes.
To me, it seems like the main event kind of shit. Like, here we go. Sunday, like, right before.
Yeah, you think so.
You would think. So, tell me why that might be. What's the Fexel scene out like where you are?
So, currently, we have it every Thursday. We don't have it as a paid tournament ever. So far up to this point, we have not had it as a paid tournament, simply because a lot of people in our scene that are interested in Fexel mostly were waiting for the PC version. And since that's out now, a lot of people are picking it up and we're literally just waiting to like ramp up sort of. So since the numbers aren't what people want, like in terms of the tournament organizers, they didn't even consider putting it on the lineup. So because I thought about it and I saw more people being interested since the PC version came out, I'm like, I need to run Fexel at this event somehow. So, went to the TO directly, who's Kenny Lamb, the ARU. So talked to him and said, yeah, we should have some time on Friday. And as long as you bring your own PS4s, you'll have plenty of time to run the tournament. So that's definitely what we're doing. But on Thursdays, usually, like when the PC wasn't out, it was about in the range of 4 to 8 people. And then when we'd have our monthlies for Fexel, which would be Okazemi, which is our monthly event on the last Saturday of every month, where we have every fighting game except for Smash, because that has its day on Sunday.
Right.
That would have about 8 to like 15 people. Because there's a few people from Victoria, like in the island, that would come over. And they only come over usually for the monthly, so you don't get to see them too often.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I imagine for PC...
You just like take a ferry from Victoria?
Yeah, exactly. So they usually make like a weekend trip out of it and kind of stay at a friend's place and then enter all the tournaments.
Is that one of those like drive your car onto it ferry?
Yeah, it is. It's quite expensive though. That's why a lot of times they just take one car and then split the cost.
That makes sense. But no, that makes sense. That's cool. But I would say, or let me ask you this instead of me presuming this.
Yeah, of course.
Would you say that your community might be the one to watch in terms of at least North American streams of Fighting EX Layer to learn and enjoy and understand the game?
I think for our scene, for Canada for sure, because I think there's a few events randomly that pop up. I found one randomly on YouTube called Revolution, but I heard a lot of British accents, so I'm not sure if that's UK. It could be, but I'm not sure. But definitely our scene is the most has the most Fexel content, I'd say. And then I know Capsule Entertainment, which is the Wednesday Night Fight Oakland circuit. He's running the Fighting EX Layer circuit basically as well. So in SoCal, I believe it is, or NorCal. But yeah, so that's good for America. But for us, yeah, Vancouver, I'd say, is the destination for Fexel right now.
Right on. And I think that will lead us into what I kind of really want to talk about is what's going on with Fexel right now, because there, like, just recently were some big announcements for Fexel, like big stuff, just like right through the door.
Yep.
It felt like to me, it was like one after the other, and they just had a lot in the news right away. You might have missed it if you don't follow Akira's Twitter account.
Arika,
yeah.
Akira's the movie, man.
Gosh, yeah, you're right. My dumb brain.
Good movie,
about
by the
Akira.
Yeah.
Great animation. Anyway, but yeah, if you don't follow them, it's like you could miss it. Or if you don't own the game already, you might miss it, because that's another great thing. If you load up the game, it'll kind of tell you the shit that's happening. Like right there. It's great.
It has, you press 2 buttons and then you're instantly teleported to their Facebook page where they list every change in point form and their schedule and any news updates and any plans that are coming.
It's kind of buck wild.
Yeah.
For a small team to be like, well, let's just put all this social media shit in our game because I don't know, how else are we going to let people know shit's going on? Here it is.
Exactly.
Like, we're a small team anyway. We don't have outreach. Here we go. Like, boom, there it is. So smart. But they had announcements, right?
They do. Yeah. The only example I've actually seen where they integrate social media into the game is Injustice 2, actually. Because they have links to their social media stuff, and they, I think when you're playing it on PS4, it automatically sends you updates whenever there's a tournament. Like it comes as a notification in PSN. So even if you're not in the game, you still get notifications for tournaments, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Man, if only there was a system in like the most popular of fighting games that like maybe you would sign up for a network, and however you sign up for it, you know, they'd have a way of contacting you.
Yeah.
One could dream. Anyway. So Fexel's got some stuff going on, though. They've got some stuff. What do they got? Tell me.
Okay, so it came out on PC last week, basically. Last week, essentially tomorrow. It came on sale when it launched. It's still on sale tonight, so if you're probably listening to this, you're too late. But it's also at a reduced price on PC. So essentially the main game on PS4 currently, if you pick it up, is $60. Okay, Canadians pay like $70 basically, and so on PC by default they've reduced it to $40 for the whole package. So the standard version of the game. So you get Hokuto, you get all the DLC, you get all the Gogi decks. The only thing you don't get is essentially just the colors. So if you want more colors, you just pay for that. It's like $6 to buy all the colors, which is really nice. The only ones that are separate are that there's a gold and a silver color for every character, except for Volcano Rosso and Pulamperna because they're brand new. And that's separate as well. That's basically if you want to promote the game, support it, or you just like gold and silver because they're top-notch colors.
Right. They basically only have that as, hey, if you want to tip us $5 to continue to support this game, like I guess we have that.
Exactly. Yeah. And not only that, so it's on sale for a week from the reduced price already for the full game, right? And not only that, so when the game dropped initially, because I actually got a Steam code before the game dropped because they wanted me to test stuff about it and see if I can play some online matches.
Cool.
Unfortunately, I couldn't play anything online at the time because they only gave it to a handful of people. So I'm assuming maybe there was a lot of Japanese players and I couldn't connect with them. And maybe because of the time zone difference, I'm not sure if that's what it was. But the game ran perfectly. It actually ran too well because, unfortunately, I don't know why it does this, but it opens at 4K by default. So my computer can't handle 4K, so it was just chugging.
Right.
And a lot of characters in that game are walking particle effects. So if you can't, like my guy Garuda, if you try running him at 4K and your computer can't handle it, you're just gonna be underwater forever.
Yeah, he's like every every special
But he
move he
looks
has.
great,
It's
so-
like here's a big particle effect coming out my dick area. Boom.
Hey man, it's his chest. I'm telling you, it's not his dick.
It's pretty suggestive.
It is for sure. Yeah.
No, you're not wrong though. But
Yeah.
no, I'm looking here right now. It is for the next 15 hours. So I guess for people who hear this early in the morning, because I'm going to post this like early, they'll still have a chance to get it at 26% off at $30 basically. But even full price, it's only $40.
Yeah, for the full game. It's crazy. And all the stuff they've updated because they've updated to arcade mode. They've buffed anti-airs across the board because people were complaining about that. They pushed it out to Steam only because the community was asking for it. They had other plans to add more content, but they're like, we want it on PC. More people want it more accessible, right? So that's what they did. Not only that too, so when the game dropped on PC, there was I don't know if it was exactly netcode problems, but when you played ranked, they would have this underwater effect that didn't seem like lag, because as soon as you press the input, they were clean and always like at the same time. It's just the game would slow down universally for both players. And I tested it with a few people in the community, and we had the same result. And even though it was kind of a little bit better if you selected training mode, it still had like the same slowness, but it wasn't lag, it was something else. But anyway, within less than 24 hours, they patched that out, and then it was perfect.
Yeah, I kind of saw that roller coaster
Crazy.
on Twitter where it was like people being like, I don't know, this feels, what's wrong here? We don't really know what's wrong here. It's not exactly lag. It's kind of like the difference of, and you might be able to remember this, if you were playing like Xbox 360 version of Street Fighter 4 and then you go play on a PS4 and you're like, this isn't exactly right.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
This ain't what I know, but it's not. It's consistent, but it ain't right. So
yeah, 100%.
It had that.
So what I think it was, because I talked with a programmer who is actually in the Fexel Discord, and he said, and I'm paraphrasing this to make it simpler, and because I don't even understand what it was, but it's something to do with the CPU getting the wrong information when it connects to ranked. For some reason, I don't know exactly what the logics for it are, but that's essentially what it was the problem. So it wasn't the netcode. The netcode is fine. The netcode is great. I wish it was rollback netcode, but it's delay based. But it's still solid netcode. So like I'm setting my connection to 2 bars, no limit on the area, no restrictions, and I'm getting great matches all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, it plays very similar to like Street Fighter 4. Like it feels,
for sure.
it kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
At least the way that I play that game, because I'm like, even like the inputs, like there's some dashing involved that is a little bit different from Street Fighter 4, but a lot of it just it feels extremely similar in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
like the normals and like how you do certain things.
Yeah,
sort of?
links feel very similar. Kara cancels feel very similar.
Yes, 100%. You can car cancel anything.
Oh, I know. This is actually the main reason why I love Fexel is the car cancels. Is effectively, if you want to car cancel something, go ahead. Like
anything. You can car cancel jabs. You can car cancel roundhouses, sweeps.
It's great.
Any normal command normal. You want to car cancel it into a special? You go for it, my dude.
They don't care.
No, they don't care. It's hard as hell to do, but man, you can go for it.
It's hard. There are some cases where it's hard. Like some normals don't give you as much of a benefit as others, but I mean, Darren being able to grab you from like fucking half a screen away with an SPD is, listen, folks, I'm okay with that. I'm super okay with that in a lot of ways.
The only time I find that's like realistically easy to do, but it's kind of like obvious, is at the right when it says round 1 fight.
Yep.
You just input it right before, and then you just grab them, and you're like, well, I should have backdashed or jumped.
Which is like a bonkers thing to think of like, oh, round 1, I guess I should have been airborne as soon as it started. Like effectively like 5-ish frames depending on when you cancel. When you do the car cancel, well, I guess I should have been airborne then. No one should be thinking about that unless you're playing against Darun, who's just dumb enough to do it. Totally doing double thumbs to myself.
I've honestly never seen anyone do it unless they're in progressive mode. Just progressive mode, to do SPD, you go to neutral and you press up punch, right? So if you're doing sweep, you just press sweep and immediately press up punch. That's a lot easier than doing sweep 360 punch, right?
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so that makes it easier. But I personally don't like progressive just because I've been playing fighting games like for a long time, and I always use DPs, motions, and whatever.
Right.
And I find for me, like maybe not for other people, like because I think on stick it's really hard to play progressive because you always have to go back to neutral before doing the input for the special move. So if you don't go to neutral and you're trying to confirm like low forward into something, and you forget to go to neutral and you press forward punch to like you do your special move, you just get a fierce punch or whatever punch you pressed. Weird. So for me, I just stick with classic because it helps me play other fighting games because I'm still using the same motions and same neutral. And not only that, I'm more consistent with my confirms and I don't accidentally mess something up if I'm trying to like whiff punish or that sort of thing.
Right. There is something to say about fighting games that take at least ease of access or have different types of input options to make the game more widely available. Like, they didn't have to do that at all. There's really no reason for them to do that, except for, well, if it means that more people have access to this game or find this game accessible, then I don't know, fuck it, whatever. Like, at a high level,
there's no competitive advantage for it.
There really isn't in most cases, I would say, except for that Darun. I'm thinking about that heavy kick.
You want to do
punch.
it so bad right now.
Heavy kick up punch, being like, I wonder how easy. It's basically like a flash kick almost.
Yeah, essentially. You can totally do it. It's just obviously. There's recovery on the throw. Yeah, mobility is pretty good in Fexel. Like backdash goes pretty damn far.
Yeah,
and jumping is pretty quick too.
Yeah, jumping's fast, and also when people are they get out and back in a split second. People are doing instant dash into like low forward. It's you can be a threat from pretty far away in that game if you wanted to be.
For sure, yeah. But, especially depending on the character too, right? Like certain characters like Sanane, Hayate, they have long range specials that just clip you if you try to run at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or even like people with good mobility options like Skullomania, who's just very fast.
Yes. Oh my god. He's so hard to cage because he has so many ways of moving around the screen and there's not one spacing you can stay at to feel safe because he can just change the option. Yeah. He's very slippery. He's like a slippery setup character, I'd say, but he's also still a Shoto, like a version of a Shoto, which is interesting.
Yeah, effective. I guess. I guess I've not seen him be played at a high level enough to have an opinion on that, because what I'm thinking of Skullomania is very fast mobility, but then gets the knockdown into that projectile super, and then you're going to have to eat it at some point.
The Skullable? Yeah.
The Skullable.
Oh, there's dirty setups for that. Basically, I'd say the best player to watch for Skullomania right now is Jackal. He won Siotaku, actually, with Skullomania, and he's number 3 on PC right now on the leaderboards, so he's like crazy good. And he always has gold. He always has the gold Skullomania. If you run to a gold, it's probably him.
You just gotta support the game, man. Gotta support the game.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's cool. So they've got that going on. They've got the Steam release. They fixed the internet. They fixed all that stuff. They're good to go. What else is coming?
Oh, and they're doing another patch too. They're doing one as we speak that's coming today or tomorrow. And it's going to improve certain systems, and they're going to fix a few bugs as well that apparently have come up. Well, I haven't experienced any yet, so that's just good news for me.
Yeah, and most players, I feel like there just haven't been. So here's the sad part, is that I feel like there really haven't been enough players playing it for that many people to experience those bugs.
Yeah, maybe that could be it.
But let's say I'm a brand new player and someone says, "Here, play this fighting game. It is a very fun fighting game. How do I learn it? Where am I looking? What am I trying to do?" Like, there's no... I mean, it's got missions, I guess, but these combos are combos that are kind of hard to do. They don't even tell me that I need to run cancel. What's going on here?
That's true. There's no tutorial in the game necessarily. But if you are brand new and you have no one to like teach it to you, or like, I'd say Fexel is really easy to pick up if you've played other fighting games before, because it's very friendly to that. It's very similar to Street Fighter V, like the training mode, because it has like, you can record on guard, on wake up, you can just flat out record. But I think it's improved some aspects that I wish were different in Street Fighter. Like, if you're choosing to record a wake up or on guard, you can actually just choose it instead of recording it. So it's always reversal timing. So it's like, oh, do I want him to wake up jab? Oh, where's jab on the move list? Choose jab. And there you go. Which is really nice. If you want to learn it though, and you've never touched a fighting game before, or you're new to like anything like 2D, right? On Arika's main website for Fexel, it has the manual for it. Literally like breaks down everything about the game, all the options you have, what Gogi decks are, you know, what the system is. And honestly, I think that's all you really need. I have content on my PB_Geki on YouTube, and I have pretty much primer videos for it. I have general knowledge about the game, stuff that's not in the Arika gamer manual. But even just playing around with the game, just testing out your normals and whatnot, you'll notice things immediately that you can just figure out for yourself, because it's very accessible. I wouldn't say it's hard to pick up.
It is one of those things that I don't know. Like so here's the thing. Here's where I might disagree with you, only because it's hard to get into the mindset of someone who hasn't played fighting games. So
for sure.
To me, I pick it up and I think, I wonder if this is possible. And then it is. Like, more often than not in that game, it is. Like, if you think 100%. About it, like, I wonder if this is a thing. Oh, it is? Cool. But then, I don't know, again, it's got chain canceling and links.
Yes.
It's kind of got like all that stuff that makes it feel kind of particular to whatever fighting game kind of floats your boat in a way.
That's true.
But at the same time, if I don't know dick about fighting games, maybe I don't know how to access that stuff. Maybe I feel limited because I don't know. By
the lack of information?
Yeah, by lack of information.
Okay.
It's hard to find those words, right? So I just want to make it like, I guess you saying that there is the tutorial online. I actually didn't know that they had it on their website. That's actually really cool.
They do. Yeah, it's really, they have a breakdown of like all the characters and how to do all their special moves. They even have like the story, a little intro story about them.
That's cool.
They have all the Gogi decks there, and they update basically with all the balance patches too. So like whatever information is there, that's like the current effects and triggers of the deck, special moves of the characters, and all that sort of stuff. And there's they just have everything on there. Because
there's that too. Like, if I'm a new player and I see a bunch of decks, I'm like, what is... I don't even know if... Like, is this good? Is this bad? Like, it's almost like you have too much options that you don't know what to do. I can understand that it might be very overwhelming to new players. However, with that said, the ease of just pick it up and start doing stuff, I think is very easy. And I suppose I want to ask you, what if I were that person, what character is the character to pick to just kind of pick up and just start doing stuff with?
I'd say picking a Shoto-like character is probably the easiest to just pick up and get going. Like, if you're new to fighting games, like, because every character in the game can do essentially a jump in roundhouse or heavy button. Then when you land, you just do a crouch medium kick into a special, right? Any character can do that in the game, even Darun, right? Although he can't do crouch medium kick, he has to do crouch medium punch.
Right.
His crouch medium kick is super cancelable, but that's another thing. But yeah, picking a character like Kyrie, picking a character like Pullum, Alan Snyder, Blair Dane, Hayate, Garuda, because they all have like DPs, right? They all have something. When you do a quarter circle forward punch, they have something that happens, right? And even if they have other tools, you don't really need to use them if you're just picking it up, because you'll discover like, oh, he has this move that has like Garuda has a giant drill that he just lunges forward and drills into you, and you can cancel that into super. Oh, cool! I didn't know that. And yeah, there's so many of these things that you don't need to know right away, but you'll just eventually know you can do this based on if you read like the command list, or when you go through their trials, you're like, oh, that's a combo. Oh, how do I do it? I guess I can look it up on YouTube or something, you know? Mm-hmm. And I do agree with you that I think it should include it in the game, but I don't expect it just because Eureka is so small, and since it is a digital game, like I can't give you an instruction guide like how you used to be able to. So I understand it being like on their website, but I do wish they would like have a button that would open the manual. I think that would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, they have that for social media stuff, so why not have it be, here's the guide in game, effectively.
Because I didn't know about it either until like a week before PC came out, that it was on their website.
Yeah, this is like, again, this is news to me. This is breaking news, folks.
Yeah, and I'm like super deep. I'm like 18 inches deep into Fexel, you know? Like I'm fully well aware of everything. I didn't know it was on Eureka's website. So, and the thing is, like, they listen to the community. So if I bet you this, if me and maybe like 2 other people told them like, hey, how easy would it be to add a button for this onto the main menu? Could you do it or put it somewhere where people can access it? I'm sure they would do it, because they've done it for other stuff. They pushed it out to Steam because people were wanting it, right?
Right. And I guess that they're accessible in terms of developers, and if they've known to be responsive, then maybe you want something, which leads me to my next question then. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I've seen people be a little bit uppity about, well, not uppity about, that's not the right thing. The thing that's grinding people's gears, that I think personally, the way that I run things with online tournaments would kind of piss me off. Lobbies not being more than 2 player. Mm-hmm. That part becomes limiting in terms of what you can do in an online sense.
Yes.
But I've seen people say, you, for example, have said, hey, I don't know how hard this is for you guys to do, but if we can just get even one more person in there, it can allow us to do more with this game and the community, which I agree with.
For sure. It's a whole world of options, literally, if you can add one more player and then give that third player who's not playing spectator mode.
Yes.
So then, like you said a moment ago, just that you could stream, like kind of like how Battle Lounges work in Street Fighter V, right?
Right.
That's how they run a lot of online tournaments. The third person is just the host of the tournament, like that's their Twitch, and then they just stream every match that goes through. It's just perfect, you know?
Yep.
And then you have commentary, then you can have online tournament circuit if you wanted to, and then you could promote the game further. And I'm sure it's difficult to make, because that's like, we're asking for spectator mode, we're asking for, bigger lobbies, and then all these other options you probably have to incorporate, like messages and whatnot. So
right,
I can understand it's a big request.
Yeah, it's a whole new structure to the game that's like,
yeah.
I don't know if it was even built to be able to handle that in the future. If they future-proofed it, I don't know. That's one of those back-end things that you'd have to be in the code to actually understand, see if that's even a possibility. I don't know. We do know, however, that the possibility of crossover, cross-platform is not a thing for them in the future. They just don't they're never going to have the money. They actually outwardly said, we're never going to have the money to do that.
Yeah. Flat out honesty, like completely clear about everything. They're so transparent about everything, which is really nice. Like they don't mind. They delayed Pullum and Rosso like a week because they said they weren't ready yet. That's fine. And they did it. And sometimes they surprised us and brought stuff earlier.
Right.
They just don't care about, all the red tape and whatnot. They probably don't have, I think you mentioned before, but they probably don't have much to go through since they're their own developer, right? And they've no one to bounce back and forth with.
Yeah, the way I put it, they can't even afford the red tape.
Yeah.
So just
which is kind of preferred for me. Like in my experience, like I actually prefer this way better because then we know what they're working on, we know what's coming, we know how they feel about the game, right?
But it's just at the same, so here's the other side of that coin is that they're never going to have the money to push a pro circuit.
That's true.
And make it worthwhile for people who are trying to do fighting games professionally to push that game. They'd have to do it out of the love of the game, which, why would anyone in the FGC do such a crazy thing like that?
I was just talking about this. Oh my God. Thank you for bringing this up. My God. Okay. The amount of people that play games because there's a circuit, like, are you kidding me? Like you don't even like the game. Why does money even interest you? Because you're going to spend hours and hours playing a game. Like I remember when Fortnite was announced. I'm going to lay it down for a second, if you don't mind.
Hey, go right ahead. You have the mic.
When Fortnite was announced, that it was, what was it? Something crazy like $1 million circuit or something like that. Some crazy amount of money.
I think it was $1 million. It was
$1 million, right? And a bunch of Street Fighter players were like, I'm dropping Street Fighter for Fortnite. I'm like, no, you're not. If you remotely like fighting games and you don't like shooters, you're not going to drop a fighting game for a shooter. Unless you're just crazy. Like, I don't know. If people just played, because the thing is, people think there's a tournament circuit, it's only because there's money behind it. No, it's because of people that enjoy the game. Like so many games, like for like old school Street Fighter games or like Third Strike that still exist today at tournaments.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2, Killer Miller. Check her out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they promote it and play it to this day because they, God forbid, they love a fighting game that's old or that not many people play, right? But if there's people that like the game enough that would want to support it, they will make tournaments for it. They will make Discords for it. They will make content, right?
Right.
It's just do it because you love it, not because you need it for money. Oh my God, it just gets me so flabbergasted.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, specifically because it's a tough thing to talk about because even in those spaces where there is money, there's very little of it that gets split between a few number of people. And if you think that you're going to get like the razor thin margin of that, who's like not at that premier level, like it's not a razor thin margin. It's zero. The answer is $0. So like, it's not there. And it's not there for even the most popular of fighting games. So
100%.
To that end, why continue to I guess bash your head against or try to be something that you're not whenever we are living in a time, and I've said this so many times, we are living in basically like the early 2000s where there is a plethora of fighting games, but unlike the early 2000s, all of them are good. They're not garbage.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
We're not playing the garbage fighting. Like there were so many fighting games back then. They're like, here's a 3D model. I don't know. You guys like Biofreaks?
Oh my God, that game that looked so good when I think about what I remember when I first saw it in the magazine. It looked so sick. But seeing it now, I'm like, why was this made?
It's trash. It's not good at all. It's a very bad fighting game. It's a very bad fighting game. No one should play it. Overlords, like, no, thank you.
That game sucks. Holy shit!
I know.
I tried playing it. There's a scene. There's a shitty.
There is not there is not a scene for that game.
No. There's like 5 people. No, I'm telling you that the only reason I know is because I got super into tournament fighters, TMNT tournament fighters, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, and there's a Discord that I'm in currently still that runs that game, Sailor Moon, and several other fighting games that are on the SNES. Okay,
Sailor Moon, I understand. I mean, that's a very to me that's a very Canadian game. That is,
yeah, for sure. because it's super cheap, right? Like, but yeah, like there's like 5 people that are like, we play Overlord, we have tournaments. They all are like, I think it's like run out of some guy's basement or something, but like there are people that play that game still. And I don't know any of them, and I never want to, but they can enjoy it.
It's probably a Masters of Terrascasi tournament scene. What's the Terrascasi circuit look like? It's garbage. Fucking
it's 2018, guys. Like you can do whatever you.
But that was like was like 2 decades ago, right? That's 2 decades ago, and like we don't. If there was just as many fighting games, but they're all trash. But now, just as many fighting games, but they're all super good.
Yeah,
they're all so good. And Fighting EX Layer is just one of them. That's just one of the many fighting games that are good. That is, oddly enough, lacking support. I feel like Unist is another one of the games that kind of lacks support, but is also a great fighting game.
Yeah, for sure. I still haven't played it. I want to, but just having no job kind of makes you not want to buy every game that you see. Even though I have recently, but
because that's the other thing, is that many of these fighting games are still full price because a lot of the times they have to be or can't afford to drop price because a lot of people aren't buying it. To which I guess I can make an aside right now that I think there was a leak of information on Steam that Street Fighter V was going to be free later this month at some point.
Whoa. What?
Just for a couple days.
That's crazy.
Just for a couple days.
Okay.
They're going to make it free
like the
for
full game?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but so this is leaked information based on someone digging through like Steam files, saying that it was going to be free for like, there's like dates too, which makes it seem like pretty, like this could be a thing. They haven't announced it yet, so we'll see, but it'll be leading up to, it's all before Christmas. That much I know.
Wow.
But I mean, that's one of those things. I mean, if you've got the kind of system in your game that can support that kind of infrastructure to like allow your game to be free for X amount of days, and then just to say, well, here it is. If you want to buy it, go ahead. I don't know.
Well, like for me, I always look for sales, like, when Black Friday rolls around, like throughout the year, there's tons of sales for like Steam and whatnot, or just online in general. Like if you want, like, you can go to like those, I mean, I should promote this, but like those keygen sites that just give you discounts on like certain games that are higher priced. So you're still getting the game, but you're kind of hurting the developer a little bit in some way, from what I understand anyway.
And
but
the popular
like, for example,
thing is to hate Street Fighter. So if you want to buy a Street Fighter that way, maybe that's the popular way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I know people
like,
from Capcom proper listen to this podcast, so maybe I should say, don't do that, folks.
Yeah, because they're sniping us everywhere.
Because that would be illegal, one, and you will get arrested. The cops will come to your house. They will send you to jail. And we all know what happens in jail. You make a lot of friends, actually. That's what happens in jail.
It's like your own FGC, but real life.
Oddly enough. But so you're right, though. It is one of those things where, because certain fighting games come to Steam, because things don't really go on sale on the PS4.
Not too often. Usually, I'd say if you're a PS Plus member, more often they do. But
yeah, that's the only way. But that never goes fighting games way. That almost never breaks fighting game.
It's like, oh, here's another Call of Duty shooter for $20 off. Blah blah blah.
Or like an old classic PS4 game or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
They'll do that from time to time, which, like, that's good. It's good that they do that. PS Plus is, like, I don't know, I guess worth it, but it almost, the Unist will never. I promise you, right? I am saying this with authority. Like, Unist Fexel will never be the PS Plus game of the month.
Although, I will say, Fexel multiple times, and it's still going on, they constantly have sales for PS4 if you're a PS Plus member, and it's always like 30% off or something like that. And it just changes based on the region every couple of weeks.
That's pretty good.
Which is really nice. So like I think last week was Asia, the one before that was Europe, and then it was North America, and they just keep rotating. Like every few weeks it'll be like, okay, this 1 week Fexel on PC is on sale, 30% off, blah 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 for this region. It's really cool.
Speaking of different regions, I think I saw you mention the other day that there are some Japanese players who are kind of on another level with Fexel.
Oh my God, Joe, you have no idea.
So what happened?
Okay, basically every scene for Fexel, if you're not following any of the tournaments, you're not following the competitive level, that's fine. But basically EVO was the first time that Fexel had a tournament, and it was international because it was EVO, so there was tons of players from other games, like Justin Wong was there. Some Japanese players that enjoyed Fexel were playing it. I was there myself. So it does the first taste, basically, of like top level Fexel as early as the game could be. It was pretty, I guess in short, it was really hyped to watch, but it's a very different game than what it is now. But until that point, or after that tournament, until that point, there hasn't been another international tournament since then where other players from other regions have come. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of just been America only, UK only, and Japanese only. But now, since East Coast Throwdown hosted the tournament, a bunch of Japanese came over, and they owned the top three. It was nothing but Japanese, and literally grand finals was a mirror match between the two top Japanese players of Fexel. It was like the craziest match
all the way over here to get a team kill in grand finals. That is that's a statement.
And they went through like real players. If you watch like Otaku and Summer Jam, which are other notable Fexel tournaments, like where the players were crazy good. Like there's a player called D Nice. He plays D Dark. The guy with the bombs and the dark wire setups and whatnot. He's probably the best. I'd say you can debate that he's the best player with that character. And he's doing like jab run combos, which are like the Japanese are famous for that because it's super hard to do.
Yeah.
Because you have to basically jab, immediately run, then do a jab, and also have the height restriction down too because you land it from juggles and whatnot. So anyway, he was doing that stuff already since Summer Jam. And he went down just outside of top 8.
Ooh, that's rough.
So
that is rough.
The people that are good at Fexel are really good at Fexel. And like, I think I'm pretty good, but like, I still want to fight a Japanese player just to see, where I match up,
Just to test your mettle on that.
Exactly.
You want to get that international feel. I get it.
Yeah.
No, that is, I don't know. It's just something that I think is cool that people are still supporting that game and playing it seriously, and it is getting it maybe not getting, but at least making its own limelight, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we should move on from Fexel. Is there anything else you want to like pitch for? Is there like upcoming events or anything that worth talking about as we exit our Fexel hour here?
I think the only thing I want to mention is just that I'm constantly going to be putting out YouTube content for this game. I'm constantly going to be streaming it. I have primer videos now for character selection, offense, defense, and I'm doing others as well for like Gogi decks and whatnot.
Which is super useful for new players, to be clear.
Yeah,
that is like what players need to look at, or at least what players what they want, or what they're looking for is like, how do I play a Darun? How do I play a Pullum?
No, exactly. And so I want to do that kind of stuff to kind of get people's feet wet and just kind of, not be so. I don't want to really dictate how someone plays it because I think you can play it in many different ways, and it's just such a good game for diverse play, which is really nice. Even though characters share like a lot of the same looking normals, but they have so many different uses. Like because I think the biggest problem with people's perception is that they think it looks a certain way on the surface because like, oh, I'm seeing the same looking crouch medium kick, right? I'm seeing the same crouch heavy punch anti-air. but that doesn't mean they have the same properties, frame data. Like, it's much deeper once you play it and try a few things in training mode versus just watching someone play. You know what I mean?
You have to get into the grits, really. It's like when people said that Street Fighter 4, Ken, and Ryu are basically the same. Where it's like, well, no, they really aren't. But it's going to be really hard for me to explain why until you know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
But also, for a lot of players, like, who are just getting into it, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, in that sense, I'm like, you know what? If you think that these things looking the same helps you learn and understand other characters based on the character you already know, then I don't know, fuck it. Go with God. Who cares?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, it's a very kind of like in that aspect where if you learn the system, you can play pretty much any character you want. You just have to learn like the differences of their specials, because generally like pressure and offense can roughly be the same, aside from a few like instances where they have different normals or different frame data. But generally, like, I can pick, like, at the level I'm at now, I could pick up any character and beat people who are below average in the game, just with the mild knowledge I would have of that character.
Right, because it's mostly just, I mean, you know what your anti-airs are, you know what your basic things are, and then it's just movement. And I feel like, I mean, Tekken, if we're talking about Tekken, we don't have enough time to talk about Tekken World Tour at this point. Just fucking Tekken World Tour was awesome. That's kind of all I have to say about that.
The reels were great.
Their announcements were incredible. It was a good time. So with that in mind, looking forward to Capcom Cup coming up, which, if I'm looking forward to Capcom Cup, I guess I'm going to be disappointed in that crossover. RD not going to make it out to Capcom Cup.
Yeah, he's officially denied.
Yeah, that's buck wild.
That's really sad.
It's crazy sad. And it's crazy sad, and it happens time and again. This happens for LATAM players extremely often. I've heard a number of them say this. A lot of people from the DR have said this a number of times, that it is really difficult for them to obtain visas to travel to the US or travel anywhere basically, to compete in these Capcom Premier events or even ranking events to gain enough points to even attend Capcom Cup. But even with that in mind, like, they had, was it, how many? It was 3 players from the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I believe so.
We're supposed to attend Capcom Cup, which, like, that's a lot of representation. So what happened was, to back it up a little bit, Crossover RD announced that he was officially denied. He's looking into, or at least trying to reapply. I think Capcom is talking to whoever they need to talk to get, or at least to maybe help get a rush visa approval. I don't know. It's something that they probably don't really have pull on anyway, because that's kind of an international thing, and they're a small video game company team. Like, not a video game company, they're a very large video game company, but the team that specifically runs Capcom fighting games is significantly smaller than the rest of the company at large.
But, for sure.
So for them to say, hey, by the way, can we get a crossover into America, please? And I'm just being like, what the fuck even? Like, get out of here. Which is super unfortunate. Like, to be clear, hella unfortunate, because how he got in, he won the Latin America regional finals.
Which is crazy. If you guys love Street Fighter, God, that is the best, like, top 8 I've seen in a long time.
That was a good ass tournament.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
A lot of hype matches, a lot of good things to clip from. But with that said, if he can't go, they haven't. Capcom hasn't announced who it would be exactly, but you have to consider at this point, Number 2 in that tournament was Picaro from Peru.
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't applied for a visa yet, which would be it would be the same position. Like, it takes too long. He'd be in the exact same position as Crossover RD, so it's just as unlikely that he would get approval for entry into the US.
Yeah, people, they don't like rush stuff at all.
They really have no reason to. So then you look down the list, and Doomsnake ended up number 3. He had already applied and approved visa because he was going to attend Last Chance Qualifier.
Yes.
So it's entirely possible that we're going to get a Vega in Capcom
And I'm
Cup.
so excited because Bruno is such a nice guy already. He's a family man. He travels like crazy. He's probably the best, I want to say the best neutral from any Vega player I've seen. And I'm even saying that from like season 1, like DRA. Because DRA has really good neutral too when he played the character. But like, and you see it when he plays Ibuki. He plays Ibuki the same way that he plays Vega. Except it's just a better character, you know what I mean?
That's right.
But Bruno or Doomsnake plays pretty much at an even higher level than that, I'd say. He's just so good at being patient and then cranking offense when he needs to. But he's really reserved in how he plays. It's really amazing. So yeah, I hope he gets in. And even if not, I'm guaranteeing that he's going to be a threat at Last Chance Qualifier for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. It's one of those things where in between Capcom Cup, which is, I should know the fucking date. Is it fucking next week?
I think, yeah, it's next week. Yeah, next Friday.
Yeah, starts on the 15th. We're, as the time of recording this, which we're recording this on a Wednesday, which is December 5th, they got 10 fucking days. So for Crossover to be denied, I think this was just a couple days ago, and then the possibility of a visa getting approved within a 2-week period is like, I don't want to say unheard of, but it doesn't look good. So it might not happen, but I think you're the greatest person to have on the show to talk about maybe Doomsnake. Maybe we're going to have a Vega in Capcom Cup.
Ever since the first year when DRA got into Cup, I was like, could this be a thing? Like every year at Capcom Cup, there's some Latin America Vega that just shows up. And I'm like, please, please, please. And when it didn't happen last year, I was so sad.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of threats, like, because I think Bolt Strike, who won the WSO Open, beating like people like, I don't know if he beat Problem X, but Problem X was in that tournament, and a bunch of other, he beat a Kami in grand final to get to winning the whole tournament. But like, my God, he's like, I think right now Vega player, I think he beats Tourniquet right now in ranks. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a super good Vega player that I think he's also going to the Last Chance Qualifier. So I think he's going to be a huge threat. Also, Gesture Power is going, I believe. He's super
good as well. Yeah. He's
crazy good. Such a nice guy. I was partying with him pretty much all through Evo. Like me and him were just like glue.
and like he's a great player to learn from, and also to just like, he's a good player to follow if you want like a good outlook on how to approach fighting games and how to continually improve.
Oh my God, his attitude is amazing. Like, I think you mentioned before, he instantly lost a match to, was it Happy Medicine? And instantly
I've told that story on this podcast of when I ran into you and I was like, hey, what are you watching? And it's like, oh, this match just ended. They're loading up. And also, just out of nowhere, in comes Tourniquet being like, oh no, you want to do this spacing?
Yeah. Oh, and Tourniquet's so good at the Bison matchup. My God.
Yeah.
He will open universes for you about that matchup if you struggle. My God.
And he's also just Twitter, another great Vega, just being like, oh no, here's like, let me explain the situation to you guys of what happens here.
Yeah.
Man, you
actually, little
Vega
tidbit.
Kind of like Zangief mains in that, like, You have to stick together and lab it out.
You really do, because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you're like a crazy lab monster like Arliath, you don't know a lot of the things that can happen, right? But no, there's a little tidbit actually, because right before that match, Jester Power lost to Kazunoko, also off stream, and he lost because he called out a shimmy. His last game, last round, last chunk of life, basically. Yeah. So he did crouching light kick to beat the shimmy, which actually worked. So he hit the crouching light kick, but he was holding down V trigger instead of going to neutral. So he got crouch light kick, whiff down V trigger rose that goes straight up, whiffs over Cammy, and then he gets knocked down because he gets punished, and then he dies because he had to guess one time and guessed wrong. I think he got counter hit and then got confirmed and then death. But essentially, it does work doing crouch light kick, stand V trigger that does combo and it beats shimmies. And the worst part is he had super, which would have killed Cammy, and he would have eliminated or put Kazunoko into losers.
Yeah.
And what's crazy. The tidbit though is that Tourniquet was watching the whole match, because I told him, like, dude, watch Jester play Kaz, right? And then afterwards he told Jester Power, and then Jester told me that Tourniquet was like, I didn't know you could play the Cammy matchup that way.
Ooh.
So he inspired arguably one of the best Vega players in the Cammy matchup. And he's playing people like NL in Korea, you know? So like, it's pretty crazy.
No, I didn't know that little tidbit. That's fun. No, when you told me that story, I was like, but when you said, but he was holding down, I went, no.
Yeah, it's just, because that happened to me too. I find, because he plays on
I feel like
pad.
that happens a lot to Vegas. I feel like that happens way more often than it ought to.
It does.
It's so easy to do because you do your crouching normal and it's just you're a frame off of letting it go to the stick go to neutral, where you would otherwise get a punish, or it whiffs entirely, or you just get one hit and it's just a bad situation.
And you know what I find it makes it worse is that I think it's actually more common on pad, because pad is like really small between down and to left or right or whatever, right? But if you're playing on stick, I find I get it way more often than when I'm playing on pad.
I guess with all of that in mind, I want to ask you, what for Season 4 would you want out of Vega? How do you change Vega to make him a selectable character on the character select screen?
Well, it's a long list, to be quite honest with you, but I think, because I'm in a YouTube video about like every change I want, basically. I think I missed a few of them because it was already such a long list anyway, and I want to keep it short. I don't want it to be like an hour long. I'm just ranting. But I don't know, I think in general, because I've been playing Falk and Zeku on the side, because I like those characters a lot, and plus who knows what will happen in Season 4. Apparently there's rumors that Falk will get crazy buffed.
I've heard that a lot of people have a pocket Falk. I have no idea where this came from, but I've just recently seen a lot of people be like, oh yeah, no, I've got a pocket Falk.
Falk is fun.
Like King Birdie was out there like, I got a pocket Falk. Symphony came out, like, I got a pocket Falk. Yeah, it's ready, pocket Falk.
You know why? Because I think she's actually not that hard.
Yeah,
like, she's very simple. You just need good neutral and fundamentals, and you can like excel with her pretty decently. She has like a few things with her V trigger, but outside of that, if you like zoning and poking and whatnot, she does a better job than Vega ever will do in 5.
That's
with
true.
The way he is now. That's true. The thing. Like I don't know. I think the best way to put it is I want Zeku and Falk, like the good things that they both do, to be more into what Vega is now. Because Zeku is cool, he's flashy, he has stance change stuff, which Vega has an aspect of, which is, stance cancels,
right,
to extend combos and whatnot. But he has no setups from it, really.
Right.
And then in the Falk department, he can't control the screen very well at all. Like his anti-airs are really bad when you compare it to the rest of the cast. Even though they got buffed.
But they still ain't good. You still have to like be mindful of what stance you're in, What range did they jump in at you from? Do they have a dive kick? Do I want to go air fireball with them? Yeah, like, do they have an air fireball? Like, all of that shit has to be in your mind. And in a game like Street Fighter V, where eating a jump in is kind of a big deal, it's a bad situation for Vega.
And Falk has amazing anti-air. Amazing anti-airs.
That is true.
And even Zeku, while Zeku has like very specific anti-airs outside of his DP and old, he's still way more solid than Vega, I'd say. Because like the problem is with Vega is that the space that you want to poke and, you know, play like an annoying poke game with, that's where his anti-airs are the worst.
Yeah.
And the slowest. Like his roundhouse is the ideal one, and from like far away from that spacing, but like as a reaction, if you're not looking for a jump, you're gonna do it too late and get hit. And while, I mean, albeit the input lag patch helped slightly, but it's still just too slow. And, you know, the heavy punch ASE where he slashes above his head, that's still too slow. It's not invulnerable to anything, so it's just not useful.
It's a big hitbox, but you gotta know.
You gotta pump that.
It's like the same. You have to. It's like doing a hard kick. Fuck it, I forget which is what it's called with Zeku.
The Koku and the Teki. Teki's the air one, and then Koku's the kick.
Yeah, the one that goes at an angle upwards, the hard kick one that you get cool juggles off of.
Yeah,
that
he gets
one.
really cool juggles off of it.
Really does.
And
gets
Vega does
a lot
too.
Of
it's just
fun
like
damage too. Yeah.
Because that's the thing, right? Because Zeku in old form, he can zone with those Kokus, and then, you know, they jump in. It's kind of like an ST Ryu sort of style. Like, you can play him that way, which is what I try to do in neutral to, like, you know, build pressure, kind of chip away a little bit. And I wish Vega could do that sort of thing. Like, not with a fireball, obviously, but just you know, kind of like just poke, and then just anti-air, kind of like just screen control. If he just gets better at that, I'll be happy.
Yeah. But so there is a video of you on your YouTube channel describing exactly what you want for Vega in season 4.
Zega. I like that combo.
I did that combination there as if
I'm down for Zega though.
I am season too, 4? Actually. Zega sounds like a fake game console in a bad 90s made for TV movie.
Like to jump on like Sega, but then not.
Come on,
say
Brian,
Sega,
let's go play
Zega.
Mazega. I got a new Zega. No, that's too close. They'd get sued for sure.
Yeah, and we're playing Blood Batch 24/700. You know.
Yeah. No. All right. Enough Zega talk. We should move on.
Sure.
Let's talk about. We have a couple things written down here, but I really only just want to talk about one last thing before I let you go.
Sure. And
it just seems to be something that comes up every week that I'm a bit I've turned into a curmudgeon about it. I hate it. It gets me salty every week. But
a curmudgeon? What is that?
A curmudgeon's like when you just like kind of when you're making like when you're pissy about something all the time.
Oh,
like
okay.
You just hate it.
Okay, gotcha.
For what it is. But what I hate is when people are really irresponsible with how they carry themselves across social media and like the way that people use quote tweeting to blow up nobodies with bad opinions instead of like doing anything that would push the scene forward. It is so frustrating, and I feel like I talk about this every week, but it also feels like every Tuesday a Blow Up Tuesday happens, and it's I can't stop from Tuesday from happening, you guys. I can't stop it. It turns out a calendar every week. There it is. Boom Tuesday. Boom Tuesday. Here we are again.
I mean, you might if you get buffed in season 4, Joe. Like you might get those buffs. I don't know. Don't hold out. I'm just saying you're not in control of what you get, you know. So I'm sorry.
It just makes me so every week because I feel like I respond every week saying, "Hey, you guys on the internet, we all The one thing that that happens every week that still is confounding to me is how any of this shit catches on. How one bad opinion from one mostly unknown person gets spread like fucking wildfire as if it's something that matters. And it's like, okay, the responsible thing to do here, if I actually gave a fuck, I wouldn't put this person on blast, because it's been proven time and time again historically. There is like social studies on this of ways that social interactions happen. When you blow someone up like that, they're not going to change their own opinion. They're going to double down and make it even worse.
100%. Oh my God, 100%. People that have crazy opinions or opinions vastly different than yours are not going to change because you blew them up for it. Absolutely. And the worst part is when it is a person that has some status or some influence over a certain amount of people that does say something stupid or gives a bad opinion that hurts an aspect of a scene or a community or a handful of people, right? It's just so shameful and just so like disrespectful to like human beings. Like, and you're just wasting space on the internet by saying this stuff. Like, and it could be anything, right? Like politically, it could be about a certain player or a certain like game that you don't like. It just can hurt in so many varying ways that just the FGC can't afford to have that many.
That I think is super important, what you just said, that we can't afford it. Our piece of the hobbies that people can enjoy, pie, is already, we're a thin slice of pie.
Yep.
That slice of pie is so thin. If you put a little piece of shit on the tip of that pie, I don't want that pie anymore. I'm done with that pie.
Yeah.
It only takes a little bit, and I just throw the whole thing out, because why would I want the calories anyway? But to that, like, instead, hey, folks, listen. Instead, here's like the actually difficult thing to do, where if you actually cared about what that person said, let's say someone, Joe Schmo, has a bad opinion on the internet. What do? Do you A, quote tweet them, or B, DM them privately saying, here's actually what I think is wrong with, well, not even what is wrong with that, but here's how what you said has affected people beyond that you might not have considered. Here's how you do that. I did that earlier this week, and guess what? I had a great conversation with someone. It was difficult.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it out loud, obviously, because that would be that's not what this is about. But
that's what the DMs are for.
Someone said something on Twitter, responded to something on Twitter, and I went straight to DMs and said, "Hey, here's actually why what you said might have a negative effect that you're not considering." And at the end of the conversation, they went, "Oh, you know what? Like, actually, I can see that end of it now." And it was like, hey, that person wouldn't have grown as a person had we not had that conversation. And guess what? If I had quote tweeted them and said, look at this fucking bigot, everybody laugh at the bigot. Guess what? People would have laughed at the bigot. I would have gotten likes and retweets, but I can't cash in likes and retweets for social improvement of our community. I can't do that. I can't say, hey, social gods, I have 100 likes, and the 100 likes are in order, so let's get 10 more people in the fighting game community. Thank you.
They literally mean nothing, honestly. Like, when you look at it, like, oh, I have more followers than you. Who gives a crap?
The thing is, like,
no one cares.
Those people give a crap because the slice of pie is so small already that to extract any kind of gain out of it, or like, if you want to get yours, if you want to put yourself out, if you want to make money from this community, if you want to do the hustle, because you gotta hustle, time is money. But if you want a little bit of that, I can see how it is attractive to just take a massive bowel-rending dump on fucking a nobody on Twitter. I get it. Yep. I see the attraction.
Easy too, right? It's easy.
Of a hemorrhoid-inducing dump upon this fucking... But
there's a ton of shit to grab. Too. That's the thing too. There's so much you could just look for like 10 minutes on Twitter, not even 10, like 5 minutes on Twitter. You will find something that you can shit on because there's tons of people liking stuff, following stuff, whatever, and people can say dumb stuff all the time. Varying degrees, mind you. Like I've said some dumb stuff here and there, right? But nothing that I would say maybe the past couple months, nothing that incriminates anybody or incriminates anything. I hope, but my God, just people, please, positivity is the way to go. When you're thinking about tweeting something salty, when you're thinking about tweeting something that could be hurtful, maybe just don't post it. Just post something positive.
It's like that old, I don't know if this is an actual quote, but it's something that people attribute to Abraham Lincoln of when someone has done you an injustice, write them a letter of why, if you've been made angry, write them a letter about airing all of your grievances. I'm trying to use as much old speak as I can. These aren't the actual words.
Please do. The president is watching.
Airing above all grievances, you have done wrong uponst my anyway, you write that letter and you put it in a drawer. You don't send it. And then the next day you read that letter and you go, you know what? I don't need to send this. Maybe you should do that.
Sit on stuff, man. Like people, you know how many times when I lose in Street Fighter, especially lately, I've been just freaking furious. Not at the people that beat me or whatever happens, just like, man, wow.
It's a stressful game.
It's a stressful game. And I realize why. Mm-hmm. Because of playing, so much Fexel lately and then going back and forth. But yeah, I just don't send anything. You know what? If instead of getting mad about something that you're frustrated with, just replace it. Be like, okay, well, I'm on Twitter anyway. Let's just talk about something I like or whatever. Just put out some positive vibes.
Yeah, it's like instead of eating that chocolate cake, go for a run.
Yeah.
Replace it somehow. Don't put that letter, write that letter, but save it in your drafts. Read it the next day. See if it still makes sense. See if you want to go if we want to go low like that. I don't know, man. It's a fucking
just like
problem.
what does it do? Like a lot of times if you just say it out loud what you're about to send to someone or post on social media, or even like what does this accomplish by saying, oh, SF5 sucks? What does this help? If anything, it hurts everything by saying a game sucks. I think you guys talked about it on your podcast before, but just saying a game sucks does no favors to anybody. It only hurts.
I know. And in the fighting game community, it is, we really can't afford to do that. Like literally can't afford to do that. Like actually,
it's already a struggle for some games.
It's already a struggle. Like to continue to have good fighting games. So many good fighting games. So many. And so many are coming out still. There's still a Samurai Showdown on the way.
I can't believe that still.
Coming down the pipes, and it looks really good. I want to play that fucking game so bad. Yeah.
There's that Robo fight. I can't remember the name because it just looks. It's too crazy for me. But that Robo fighting game where you're fighting in a skyscraper like size.
Yeah, the one that Jeff the Hero is working on.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Fucking what is the name of it? I'll look it up while maybe.
But yeah, I just think like it's such a great time to be a fighting game fan. And I think every fighting game that comes out today is actually really good. It's not like the 90s where there was like knockoffs and like all these like bad shows like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat clones, with like just trying to rake the money in. Nowadays, when you make a fighting game, it's usually a passion project, or at least they put a lot of work into it and it's supported by the company usually, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I just think there's no shitty games nowadays. It's just not for you.
There are shitty things about those games, but
oh yeah, for sure. But I wouldn't make it a shitty game.
There are shitty things about Fexel. There are things like I don't like how the lobby system works in Fexel. That makes it impossible for me to run an online tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Which I would enter, by the way, Joe.
Listen,
wink, wink.
I can run a good online tournament. I've been doing it for years.
For sure.
I will openly say into a microphone that I'm one of the few people who actually understands how to run an online tournament. Because there's a fuck ton of people who think they can and they don't know shit. They might even have money. They don't know shit about it.
You were probably one of the best, honestly.
Guaranteed. Also, the name of that game is Override Mech City Brawl.
Yes, that's what it was. Thank you.
Oh shit, that's out. It says it's coming December 4th. That's out now. That's out.
Crap. You guys can check that out now. You can play a giant robot fighting game, guys. What the hell?
Yeah.
That wasn't well, the closest thing back when I was growing up was like Custom Robo Arena, and that was more like Power Stone, but like on the DS or 64.
That's a good game. That's also kind of like Gundam Versus. You played that game?
Yeah, I did actually. I'm terrible at that game.
Yeah, I'm trash. There's a lot of people who understand movement in that game that fucking blew me up.
I can do the Super Nintendo version. I can't remember the name.
I just want to play Heavy Arms, and Heavy Arms is a very good Gundam. Heavy Arms is a good Gundam.
The red and white one with like the
you got the minigun,
machine gun. Yeah, the minigun, right? I play the guy with the scythe. I don't know what his name is. Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Death Scythe's that's a good Gundam. There's a lot of good Gundams out there, folks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good Gundams from 08th MS Team. That's a good Gundam. That's a good Gundam series. That one Gundam picks up.
Actually, did you ever play the Dynasty Warriors Gundam?
No, I haven't. I haven't touched any Dynasty Warriors game.
Oh man, it's satisfying. It's really satisfying.
I've heard that those are good games to like if you wanna zone, if you want to be in the zone, if you want to go to the zone. Those are good games to play. But anyway, folks, I guess that's kind of a fighting game, and I guess that's kind of it for this week. Typically, I end this show asking you what your favorite normal and combos are, but I've already done that before. You can listen to Geki's first episode that he was on. That's true. However, I'm going to put a spin on it. Because we've been talking so much Fexel, I don't have to do this, but I want to ask you in particular.
Please.
With Fexel, what is your favorite normal attack in that fighting game?
Ooh, okay. Favorite normal. So it can't be a command normal?
Sure, it can.
It can? Okay.
Yeah, it can be whatever. Listen, I play it fast and loose with this question. There have been people who have answered this question with saying, I like a special attack. It's like, fuck it, go ahead. Who cares?
Okay, this is a tie for me. I can't decide on one.
That's also fine.
And it changes every day. So my two favorite normal attacks, and they're both, oddly enough, they're both command normal, but I love Garuda's back heavy kick. So I don't know if you've done this before, but it basically, he goes into the air and he floats like it's a kung fu movie, and he does several fast kicks to the opponent and hops away with the final kick and sends them flying across the screen, and it's a hard knockdown. It is so hilarious to hit people with this mid-screen because he instantly pops up to the air. So if you're trying to low crush someone or
sorry about that. I tried to search something and accidentally pressed a soundboard thing. You were saying?
Yeah. So it's so satisfying because if they run up and you will hit them in their face with his little toes. It's like a tap dance, and then he kicks them away. Yeah, it's very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Ibuki had a move. I was trying to look up that move in Street Fighter 4. Yes, it's the exact same look almost.
Yeah,
but much more fun because they go flying.
It's a jump forward and then pop, 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 pop to the face.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very good.
And then my second normal attack is Pulam Purna's. So the little Indian girl. If you press forward, medium punch, or if you press down, medium punch while you're in the air, she does a little like leapfrog animation where she like reaches for your head and then pushes you down. And if you're in the air and you do this, you'll actually launch yourself higher and you get the most comical cartoon boing sound effect.
Oh, did they? It's good.
Yeah, and
that's good.
If you're in the air and you land this on hit or block, you'll actually be put into the air where you can still. So if you guys don't know, Pulam has a double jump. She has a jump and then you can jump in the air again, right? So after you land this hop thing, you can still double jump. even if you've already double jumped and done the command normal, then you can still jump again.
You re-up on jumps.
Exactly. And then the funny part is if you're on the ground, like let's say you're hitting someone low and then you cancel a chain into the hop, if they're crouching, you'll boing over their head and you'll go behind them. And I don't know what the frame data is on it, but I think you're basically safe. But it's a good way to like mix people up if they keep blocking your lows.
Satisfying situation.
Yes, very much so.
All right. So now that leads into part 2, which is, what is your favorite combo in Fexel?
Oh man, there's so many good ones. Jesus.
It's basically you can build your own combo.
Exactly.
It's like Subway. You can have it your way. Except that you can't. I'm going to go on a slight Subway tangent. All right.
Go, please.
I once went into Subway and was like, hey, my guy, can you... And I ordered the meatball, of course, like you do. And I like my meatball sub, when I cut it, I like it cut in the old style V shape like they used to do, because when you when you cut it in the V instead of flat, you cut it in a V so that all of the marinara, it doesn't fall out the sides, it sits, it swims in that V that you've cut into it. You cut V instead of flat. Yeah. And I asked the guy, can you cut a V? And he's like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, no, listen, man, you just cut the bread in like a V shape. You've got the knife right there, just like a V, man. You understand the letter. And he was like, I can't do that for you. I'm like, I'm looking at your knife. You have hands. Come on, man. Let's go
like
with
down the
V.
middle, right? Like horizontally, you just do like an angle when you cut.
Yeah, if you're looking down a foot long, if you're looking down a foot long, like you're gonna bite into it, and then you put a V up and you just like use that V to slice through it long ways.
Yeah, that makes
cut
sense.
that V. You create that little trough for all your meatballs, and then all your meatballs and marinara sit in that little V trough, and you're good to go. This guy didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I'm like, your company had you cut it this way for years, sir. Do you even remember the brown logo? It was terrible. Now
that was a shitty logo. My God,
it was real bad. It made it look like trash. And then how that situation resolved is that the man handed me. He had to hand me my Italian urban cheese, and I cut it myself.
Wow.
Which in retrospect, like had I cut myself on that knife, I probably could have got some money with that.
You definitely could. I'm surprised he gave you the knife, to be honest.
Yeah, he gave me a weapon in his store. I could have robbed that joint at that point. I have the knife. Yo, this is my Subway now. You didn't know. Like he handed me that magical knife. It's the key to my city, baby. I'm cutting all these sandwiches in a V. Let's go. All these subs, boom, V's, V cuts all the way down.
You can technically own the restaurant.
I think legally that's how that works. I think that's how that works. I haven't read how franchising works with Subway, but I'm pretty sure once you hold the knife, this is only the one. They never wash it.
They definitely don't. I've seen it.
They super don't do that. I'm pretty sure you do. Anyway, enough about that. What is your favorite combo in Fexel?
Okay, I have a reset in this combo.
That's
just
fine.
To get even more damage. So
that's acceptable. I've accepted resets in the past. You are good to go.
Okay.
Giving you the green light.
So I would say with Garuda, because Garuda's my guy, and like he has such flashy combos. He's a freaking samurai from hell. Like, come on.
He is a good-looking character too.
Yes.
Just didn't like how they like you said it at the top of the show, but like he is a fucking moving particle effect.
Yeah.
He is
dude. His skin is on fire. Yeah. All the time. Like that is nuts. If you look at his hands, they're like burning with like molten like lava, what it looks like. And he's a being of heat and fire and hell. It's just crazy.
It's a good looking character in 4K.
Yeah.
4K.
In 4K, yeah.
All right,
So the combo.
What is the situation? Yeah.
So the combo is you run in, and it has to be in the corner or else this won't work. So you run in, you do crouch jab, chain into crouch medium punch. Confirm that if it's hitting into crouch light kick, which is a link because you can't link backwards. You can only increase in punch in normal strength. Linking the light kick, crouch light kick, into crouch medium kick chain, then you cancel into heavy punch Shuga, which is like his chest blade, like core circle forward punch. And while that's hitting, you cancel into his fireball super, which is core circle back twice kick, and you just hold that kick button down to charge the fireball. The spinning around him is going to hit the opponent, and then he's going to chuck the fireball to finish. But before he finishes throwing the fireball, you cancel into his, I think it's called Kinebu, which is like his Beyblade looking super where he spins like a top really, really fast. So you cancel into that super. And if you want to end it right there, you can cancel into another fireball super and just hold that kick button again and finish it. It does like 55% damage and just nearly kills anybody at like half life. Crazy, right? But if you want to get a reset, you after the Beyblade super, you whiff a light kick and instantly do overhead. And if they recovered when landing, you will hit them with a meaty overhead that leads to an unscaled fireball super because you can cancel the overheads and supers. So that does like 75% for a reset. Only works in the corner. You need 3 bars. And they need to recover. If they delay rise, you'll whiff, but you'll be safe enough that you won't get super punished for whiffing an overhead. So I love that combo.
That's a good options kind of pathway. I like that. I like combos that give you options.
Yeah. And that's my whole game plan with Garuda because I basically save most of my bar for. It just does so much damage, and so I'm just constantly trying to push people to the corner, cage them, and land one hit from my chest blade or my dick blade, as you call it.
It's pretty erotic, if you ask me.
Yeah,
it's pretty erotic.
It turns heads. I'm telling you.
I mean, he's a grower, not a shower, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, folks, that's gonna do it. Geki, thank you again for coming on the show, and thank you for spreading the good word of Fighting EX Layer. It is out now. You can play it. It's on Steam. But where can people find you on the internet?
Thanks so much, Joe. You can find me on PB_Geki on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube. You can also find me at Vancouver Street Battle, which is our local Vancouver scene. So our Twitch is twitch.tv/VAN for Vancouver Street Battle, and also on Twitter at Van Street Battle, and then on Facebook at Vancouver Street Battle.
Word. Van Street Battle. It's a good name. Good imagery too. I like it. But that's your folks.
Redesigned that logo like so many times. I wish I could show you the old ones.
Yeah, I kind of do want. I actually really like seeing evolutions of iconography. I find that to be like telling of what a company was thinking or what they were like, oh, super no with this. Like, we clearly could not have chosen this.
Yeah, we had a campaign actually for when they were redesigning the logo space. They put out like 10 or 15 designs, and like everyone in Vancouver literally voted for.
That's cool.
And then that was what we decided on. So, all
right, well, right on. This has been an episode of RSF Radio. Again, you can find me at Super Joe Monday or at Reddit SF on Twitter, or just hop on Reddit. Joe_Monday is where you can find me. Hit me up anytime. DMs are open, folks. My DMs are always open. But that's the show, folks. You can find this every Thursday. You can find our tournaments every Monday and Friday night. But until next time, folks, take care.